From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning to you, and thank you so much for waking up with us on this peak of the week Wednesday morning. So glad to be here with you on Wake Up West Texas Extra. We've got a lot to get to, a lot to talk about this morning, including the forecast, which Sawyer will have in just a few moments. But starting off the morning, how's it going so far? I feel like it's flown by again.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good day so far. A little bit quieter with our weather to start off the day, and we are making our way through the week. It is peak of the week Wednesday, getting closer to the weekend, and very excited for the weekend.
Definitely.
It was kind of hard to get up though this morning. I think like it's kind of compounding through the week.
You're feeling it. You're feeling it for sure. Yeah. And I have to say, yesterday was drizzly. It was feeling nice and cool. It was a beautiful day. I was out the entire afternoon.
No, it was definitely a very nice day.
It was wonderful.
I napped really well yesterday. My room was like dark all day because of the clouds, the rain. It was cool. Slept really well, but yeah, still kind of didn't want to get up this morning. But
no, definitely not.
Getting closer to the weekend, and of course Valentine's Day this weekend, which we discussed yesterday. I won't be doing anything aside from watching, movies or whatever, but
enjoying a night in, that's the way to go,
yes.
Especially. As we move through the rest of our morning, we want you to take us with you wherever you go. Download our First Alert 7 app on your connected TV, your phone, your tablet, wherever it is you watch us. That is where we're going to be on Wake Up West Texas Extra. You can start your day on Wake Up West Texas from 5 to 7 a.m. on your TV, but then you won't want to miss us on Wake Up West Texas Extra, streaming live from 7 to 9 a.m. on your connected apps. Like I said, it's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play as well. You're able to get in on all this extra content, some of our own commentary, not opinions, but commentary. That's what we're going to call it, which is just learning about who we are and what we do. And that's the best part about the show, I think, is you get to know us as the people, Matthew and Sawyer, instead of the news people. Because there is a difference.
Sure. We are humans outside of work, and I feel like sometimes that doesn't translate to the people that watch our shows.
Sure.
Of course, we are just here doing our jobs, but we are also people outside of, doing the news and weather every day. And we do like to, we have our hobbies.
We do have our
hobby
hobbies.
Is the news, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty much the same in or out. Yeah.
Matthew's hobby is the news. I like other things. Our table's rickety this morning.
It has been lately. It's been pretty bad lately. I'm checking the Facebook comments as I'm going, by the way.
Well, good morning to anybody who is watching on Facebook, our YouTube page, and our CTV, or on the First Alert 7, website. Thank you for watching and thank you for joining us. Please like and share. We want to get as many people watching as we can.
That's right. And so currently this morning, we're keeping an eye on the Facebook comments. Good morning to everyone watching. Tiffany, good morning to you. Lauren, good morning as well. Great to have you here. Glad Tiffany came back. She says, I am back.
She was having issues yesterday with the stream.
Oh, no.
I think you fixed it.
I think so. I refreshed everything, so it should be good. We want to take a quick look, though, at a poll that we have on firstalert7.com. Actually, breaking news. Let's get to that first. The Federal Aviation Administration, very big news out of El Paso. You're looking live inside the El Paso International Airport at the ticket counter there. The FAA closed the airspace for 10 days.
Wow.
And so we're trying to figure out exactly why. The entire country is. No, all networks are reporting the FAA posted with the temporary flight restriction a notice to airmen, NOTAM, that it's for special security reasons, which is the most generic reason, of course, because I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know. That man just came away from the ticket counter with a ticket, so.
Right. We're also trying to figure out some of the schedule, like maybe they're letting some out. I don't know. We're not going to speculate on what exactly is going on here, but looking at my own flight tracker, which is Flight Radar 23 for those of you wondering, I don't see any flight activity around El Paso Airport. I see actually some in Juarez, but none in El Paso itself, which makes sense because they clarified Mexican airspace was not affected by this.
Very intriguing. Of course, something we'll continue to follow as we get more updates, and hopefully we get more updates. We may not get more updates.
Hopefully soon. Yeah, we will see.
And just intriguing to see if this impacts Midland International, obviously not, in that airspace, but if people are flying or were going to fly into El Paso, maybe being diverted to Midland or needing to fly into Midland now because it's
right. Who knows?
The closest, well, maybe not the closest airport, but only 4.5 hours, give or take, away from the El Paso
here.
area.
Yeah, so it hits close to home. They are in far deep West Texas. And so fascinating development that happened. This happened around 11 or 12 o'clock last night, overnight.
Yes, late last
and
night.
We're still following the developments from that. You were just looking live at their ticket counter as people are walking up. Not sure if they're being turned away right now. I imagine a lot of them are. Again, I see no flight activity around El Paso whatsoever. in or out. I see flights nearby heading to LAX or Tucson, but nowhere into El Paso. So again, we're not sure if Midland International is affected anyway in their operations. We're going to be reaching out and asking the airport director about the effects this could have on our local airport. So interesting developments this morning, but again, just to recap in case you're just joining us, the FAA has closed the airspace around El Paso International Airport for 10 days. That is February 20th, as it started at February 10th. So that is a full 10-day span. I can't think of a time a TFR lasted that long since the 9/11 attacks, when all of the country was grounded. This is obviously much more isolated of an incident. So we're still trying to work to figure out what exactly the security protocol is for. El Paso International Airport, for your reference, is right neighboring Fort Bliss Army Air Base, Fort Bliss itself, and so of course military activities around that area as well. So we're going to keep an eye on all things El Paso this morning. But much lighter news now. Yes. Let's turn to artificial intelligence. As you know, data centers have been, that's my version of lighter
news, Matthew, but okay.
Artificial intelligence is a thing. The question this morning on our poll, if you go to firstalert7.com/vote, you can vote there, scan the QR code, go to the top of our website, there's a vote tab there, that's where you can find the poll. Do you like or use AI? 100% of people say no. I'm one of those people. So it's a nuanced question because I like AI, seeing some of the capabilities it has in certain aspects. We read a story yesterday about them reading MRIs, things like that, radiology, any of that. I could see it being used as a second opinion, third opinion even, over, just as like, hey, I saw this, I'm flagging this for you to look at, kind of a thing. Not saying exactly what's wrong with it, but letting the doctor know this could be something you want to look at, right? And I could see AI being used for that pattern recognition. Even in cases where the Nancy Guthrie case, that would be an interesting way to use AI. They have that Nest Cam footage, incredible footage coming out yesterday of the alleged burglar, whoever possibly abducted Nancy Guthrie. It does appear to be the case. Armed, masked. Could that help with that? There were full eyes available to use. So, I mean, I could see artificial intelligence being helpful in that way. Maybe not now, but in the future. Fascinating take for sure.
I think in like that case, of course, where it's for, not surveillance purposes, of course, but
that's the problem as well. Yeah, that's another security issues, privacy. Yeah.
But, to help assist in cases, I believe that is acceptable, but the widespread usage of it is not my favorite thing, especially knowing the effects that AI has on the environment. And as an environmentalist, always, first and foremost for me.
It's a big issue.
As
You're
a
right.
meteorologist. So I don't like AI, and I do not use it.
A lot of people have drawn concerns over data centers locally about water usage, electricity, noise pollution, a lot of those things as well. So very valid concerns as well, especially for someone who keeps an eye on the environment. So fascinating take, Sawyer, very much. We want you to take a part in this. West Texas weighs in polls. The next one is, which would you rather have as a pet, a panda, porcupine, or an otter? I went with otter because I love river otters. I grew up watching a show called Bear in the Big Blue House. There was an otter in the show.
Is there an otter in Bear?
There is an otter. His name was Otter.
Very original.
Very original, as Bear was called Bear.
Yes.
And so I love that show, and I remember an otter being part of it, so that's why I picked an otter. But I'd rather have my dogs as my pet.
I had to think about this because I do like otters. I do think they're cute. They hold hands while they sleep so they don't float away from each other.
Really?
Yes.
That's kind of nice.
That? Yes, it's so cute.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, our director is saying funny things in our ears.
Maybe we should put a mic on her.
No, we'd get in trouble. I went with panda. It's 50-50 right now, and then porcupine does not have any. Hello?
No, go ahead.
Porcupine does not have any thoughts about that yet, but I went with panda. We had a story about a panda during the show. They're just so cute. They're bear. Well, bears, technically, I think. But they're just adorable, and especially like the little ones. They were like rolling away and being silly. I think they're cute.
Leon wants to weigh in on the AI situation. He says AI either way will be forced into an AI world, too much overreach, which is a concern. The AI-driven world and AI-ruled world, those are the concerns that we see a lot in the movies, but I don't know. It is concerning of how, good it is, but also the fake news propagated by AI is a big problem we all have as journalists, is the videos you see. Some of them are, if you don't know what you're looking for at this point in time in 2026,
you can be
fooled. Even for us who know what to look for, it can be tough.
Honestly, I just go with the guys that everything is fake.
Until you can
Anything
verify.
I see, I'm like, that's fake. That's not real.
Until you can verify with 2 primary sources, that's what we're taught. It's fake. It's not. It's to be, questioned. It's to be verified. And so, very
Even
good point,
if it is
Leon. Thank you very
confirmed,
much.
I still think it's fake. I'm like,
Well,
no.
it's got to be suspicious these days. You've got to be. The
very
fake news is
suspicious
everywhere,
of
so got to be very careful with that. But much lighter news again.
Yes.
Why don't we take a live
and
look
this
outside?
is actually light news.
It is.
Here's a live look outside of the skies of Midland this morning, where we are hanging on to a few clouds. Yeah, that didn't help.
I tried looking away from my microphone to clear my throat. Sorry.
But we are hanging on to a few clouds. Much better conditions, though, than we were seeing at this time yesterday morning. Of course, there is that blue sky. Traffic moving along nicely there on I-20. And quiet conditions. It was raining across portions of the area yesterday morning, not this morning. So here's a look at that forecast as we do start off the day. It is a little bit cooler, though, across the region, so definitely want to grab that jacket as you're headed out the door. Temperatures currently ranging from the 30s to the 50s, most sitting in the 30s and 40s, though. 34 degrees currently in the Mesa, sitting at 40 in both Midland and Odessa, 32 in Andrews, so right at that freezing mark there just to our north. Winds anywhere from being calm to 10 miles per hour, and wind chill values in the 20s in some spots, such as La Mesa, Andrews, and Hobbs. Feeling like 40 in Midland, so feeling like that actual air temperature, feeling like 34 here in Odessa. We are hanging on to a few clouds, but starting to see clearing across the area, and we are expecting to see clearing continuing through the day, with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies as we head through our Wednesday. And then into tonight, a little bit more cloud cover heading into Thursday. Temperatures are going to be cooler overall behind that rainfall from yesterday and a little bit of a front. Temperatures will warm into the 60s and 70s, kind of right around where we should be for this time of year. 64 for Midland today, 63 for Odessa. Winds will pick up, especially across portions of southeast New Mexico this afternoon and evening, but overall looking like a relatively nice day, especially compared to what we saw yesterday. We'll see peaks of sunshine, quiet conditions, then a big warm up heading into Thursday, back into the upper 70s and 80s for some, ahead of more changes heading into the weekend with some rain and thunderstorm chances on the way Friday into Saturday.
Mary asked a question right as you were getting in the forecast. You have it on your screen here, but Mary wants to know. She says, good morning, by the way.
Good morning.
How's the weather for Sunday? She'll be celebrating her baby girl's birthday.
Oh, that's so fun. Happy birthday to your daughter, I'm assuming. 68 degrees for Sunday for the Midland Odessa area. Mostly sunny skies, quiet conditions. So looking really nice this weekend. We have some rain chances on Saturday, but we shouldn't see a washout for Valentine's Day. If you have any of those plans, either Saturday or Sunday, a little bit cooler, but still above normal for this time of year. And then as we head into next week, back into the 70s.
And Mary, tell her happy birthday from us as well.
Yes.
Sawyer, thank you very much. Let's turn now to your local headlines in your Morning Extra. Headlines you need to know to start your Wednesday morning. We'll begin tracking crime this morning, where a sex offender wanted by Kermit police has been arrested in Central Texas, specifically in Brownwood. Aaron Boner was wanted for failure to comply with sex offender registration. He evaded arrest Friday and fled Kermit. A Crime Stoppers tip led authorities to find Boner in Brownwood, where he was arrested Saturday. A woman at the scene, Megan Blankenship, was also arrested and charged with obstruction. We are your first alert on a deadly crash that happened in Midland just last night. We're still working to learn more on this, but we do know one person was killed. It happened along Midland Drive there, according to the city, at the intersection with West Dengar Avenue. Traffic in both directions had to be diverted at the time. The investigation is still ongoing with this, but of course we're working to learn more. But one person is confirmed to have been killed in this crash. In Big Spring, the school district warning parents about a planned student walkout reportedly scheduled for tomorrow. According to a Facebook post, the district says messages are circulating among middle school and high school students about the walkout, which is not supported by the school district. School officials want to remind families that leaving school grounds without permission violates the student code of conduct and could result in unexcused absences and disciplinary action. The district says while they respect staff and students' right to express opinions, such expression cannot disrupt instruction or compromise safety. Big Spring ISD says individuals without educational purposes will not be let on campus during the planned walkout. Sad news out of Wink as the community remains in mourning after the loss of Tegan Hernandez, a boy who was killed in a rollover crash Sunday night. Hernandez was one of 5 teenagers in that pickup truck that rolled over. We told you about it yesterday. The 4 other kids are recovering from what would have been described as serious injuries, and indeed are. Tegan was 14 years old and a student at Wink Loving ISD. They're asking all students and staff to honor him today by wearing his favorite colors, red or green. Wink Loving ISD asks that you keep them and their family in your thoughts and prayers throughout this week. That was your morning extra for this Wednesday. You can find the latest news, weather, and sports by logging on to firstalert7.com or downloading our app as well. Let's take a live look outside this morning once again over the skies of Big Spring. It's a beautiful start to the day, and meteorologist Roy McElroy will have another look at your forecast a little bit later on. Next on Wake Up West Texas Extra. Take us with you wherever you go. Don't forget, you can download our app on your TV, smartphone, or tablet. Stay with us.
Now from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good morning and happy Wednesday, everybody. Here's a look at those First Alert weather headlines as we do start off the day. A touch cooler with a quick warm up on the way for our Thursday. Thunderstorms and even possibly some severe storms on the way Friday and Saturday. Looking at that temperature trend heading through the week, going to see above normal temperatures throughout the next 10 days. Even with a couple of cold fronts on the way, one Friday into Saturday and another one next Tuesday and Wednesday, above normal temperatures for this time of year, anywhere from 2 degrees above where we should be to about 15 degrees above where we should be. And we do have rain chances back in the forecast as well as that front on Friday approaches the area. About a 40% chance throughout the day on Friday, 90% chance Friday night and into Saturday, about a 40% chance. And we could even see some isolated strong severe storms for these areas highlighted in dark green. A good portion of West Texas is included in that. To start off our day though, this morning we are hanging on to a few clouds, but otherwise quiet conditions and mostly sunny skies or mostly clear skies. Sun's not quite up just yet. Temperatures anywhere from the 30s to the 60s across the state. 39 currently at Midland International Air and Spaceport, and those winds anywhere from being calm to about 10 miles per hour. Hanging on to some showers near the Houston area this morning, and then of course those clouds across western portions of the state into the Panhandle. Wind chill values anywhere from the 20s to the 60s, feeling like 35 at the airport here. And if you are traveling across the state today, here's a look at what to expect. 64 today for our high temperature, 48 for the low. And if you're traveling to Dallas, expect a high of 69 degrees, sunny skies, 77 with showers for the Houston area, 76 and sunshine for Austin, 63 with partly cloudy skies for Lubbock. Here's a look at that First Alert 7-10-day forecast, where we are going to see things warming up for Thursday before cooling things down and bringing those rain and storm chances back to the forecast for the weekend.
All right, Sawyer, thank you very much. It is a very nice forecast indeed. We'll see what happens with Friday. Here at the desk, I'm joined now by First Alert 7's Lauren Munt, our Wake Up West Texas reporter, who really brought us a tearjerker of a story early this morning. We're going to be seeing it in just a moment, but putting it together, I'm sure, was difficult as well.
It was, and it's hard to put together in such a it's such a beautiful story that it's a tearjerker in that way. Like it's a very sad story, but it's such a tearjerker because of how wonderful this brother is. His name is Zach Foster, and he is running a marathon with his brother who was diagnosed with cancer. He's pushing him in a wheelchair stroller situation just so that his brother can experience that for the first time. So you're right, real emotional story. And
a story of brotherly love, pushing that card and essentially working to train himself to push it for 26.2 miles. Here's a look at Lauren's story.
Every Wednesday at 5 a.m., there's a group that gathers outside the YMCA to run.
Thanks for the encouragement that each of us get up and take care of the temple that you gave us. Be with us all this run, get us all back here safe because in Christ's name we pray.
Now each person is running for a different reason. For Zach Foster, that reason is his brother. In December 2024, Joseph Howell was diagnosed with stage 2 adenocarcinoma. Doctors told him that he would be cancer-free by his birthday in July. But things quickly took a turn for the worse late January when the cancer spread throughout his entire body, a terminal diagnosis.
He has 2 kids. 4 and 3, so I can't imagine the toll that takes on somebody. I mean, it's hard to see someone you love in that shape, but we're just praying that things are on the up and up, and he does end up getting a little better just to have more time with him.
Zach had no plans to run a marathon this year, but it's something that his brother has always wanted to accomplish.
Whenever he puts his head to something, he sticks with it. So that's why I get up every morning, because I know he can't, but if he could, he would. So I've got to hold myself accountable to do that on his behalf.
Now, Zach has run marathons before, but this one's different.
But the goal isn't to break any records. It's just to finish this one and enjoy it for what it is.
On March 1st, he'll push his brother for all 26.2 miles.
All right.
But before that, he's got to train. So for now, he runs with bags of rocks to match Joseph's current weight.
Easy and hard are very subjective words. So yeah, I'm pushing 100 pounds in a stroller for 10 to 12 miles sometimes. But relatively speaking, that's easy compared to what some other people go through. So, and whenever I got the news, I said, well, I've got to kick it into gear. So even if it's 5 degrees outside and my training calls for pushing the stroller, there's going to be some rocks in it, and I'm going to be outside pushing the stroller.
Like Zach said, this marathon isn't about winning. It's about doing something meaningful while there's still time.
Man, if you're willing and able to, then go out there and do something for somebody that can't do it for themselves.
This year, the finish line isn't a place, it's a promise.
I mean, that is a true tale of brotherly love, training for that long, that committed. And glad to see that he does have a group of supporters out there with him. He's not alone.
A great group with him out at the YMCA that's been kind of running with him, and he keeps up with them while pushing the 100 pounds in the chair. He's obviously having to simulate the weight of his brother by doing that training plan that he came up with entirely on his own, that he's getting to have that support with him.
That's wonderful. The GoFundMe page, is there anything more you can tell us about that to
Yeah,
support his
it's
efforts in getting him to France?
Absolutely. That GoFundMe is linked up on our website, firstalert7.com. And you can go and donate to, like we said, those efforts to get him to France.
For a clinical trial, I should say.
Clinical trial that Zach also talked about, saying that, like, even if it doesn't help his brother, it might help somebody else. That if they get him there and they allow them to do this trial on his brother, maybe it doesn't help his brother, but it'll help future efforts. Absolutely.
Well, I hope it does work for him very well. And I'm excited to see him achieve this goal of getting to that marathon and taking it all the way, no matter what place he comes in. When is that happening again?
The marathon is on March 1st. It's the Cowtown Marathon in Fort Worth.
Okay.
It's a marathon that he's run before. He's done that exact marathon before, but this will be an entirely new experience.
Lauren, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break for our news and weather update. For First Alert 7 viewers, stay with us.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Morning, everyone. Time now is 7:26 on this Wednesday. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Sawyer McRoy. Sawyer, again, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Matthew. Happy Wednesday. Doing pretty good so far. Here's a look at those First Alert weather headlines for today. A touch cooler for today across the region behind that rainfall and a little bit of a cold front from yesterday. A quick warm up heading into Thursday with thunderstorms and possibly severe weather coming up Friday and into Saturday. Here's a live look outside over the skies of Fort Stockton, where we are hanging on to a great deal of cloud cover. Temperatures currently ranging from the 30s to the 50s this morning, staying at 39 currently in Midland, 40 here in Odessa. Winds anywhere from being calm to 10 miles per hour, with wind chill values anywhere from the 20s across portions of the northern Permian Basin to the 50s, feeling like 36 in Midland, feels like 34 here in Odessa. Hanging on to those clouds, but quiet conditions to start off the day. We are going to see clouds clearing as we head through the day. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler, like I mentioned, into the 60s and even a few 70s as well. 64 for Midland, 63 for Odessa. Those winds anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour for most, but a little bit stronger across portions of southeast New Mexico, with those winds anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour under partly cloudy skies. For tonight, expect mostly cloudy skies. Those clouds will filter back into the region heading into Thursday, and temperatures will be on the cool to mild side heading into tomorrow morning, with lows only dropping into the 40s and 50s overnight. 48 for Midland and Odessa. Here's a look at that First Alert 7 10-day forecast, where we will see a big warm up heading into Thursday, with highs back in the 70s and 80s for some. Ahead of that next system, bringing cooler temperatures and more rain and storm chances to the forecast.
All right, Sawyer, thank you very much. We'll begin tracking crime this morning, where a sex offender wanted by Kermit police has been arrested in Brownwood. Aaron Boner has been wanted for failure to comply with sex offender registration. He evaded arrest Friday and fled Kermit. A Crime Stoppers tip led authorities to find Boner in Brownwood, where he was arrested Saturday. That's in Central Texas. A woman at the scene, Megan Blankenship, was also arrested and charged with obstruction. Big Spring ISD, I should say, is warning parents about a planned student walkout reportedly scheduled for tomorrow. According to a Facebook post, the district says messages are circulating among middle and high school students about the walkout, which is not supported by Big Spring ISD. School officials remind families that leaving school grounds without permission violates the student code of conduct and could result in an unexcused absence and disciplinary action. The district says while they respect staff and students' right to express opinions, such expression cannot disrupt instruction or compromise safety. Big Spring ISD says people without educational purposes on campus will not be allowed on during the walkout. Join Wake Up West Texas Extra, streaming now on Facebook, YouTube, and our website. Make it a great day.
From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Wake Up West Texas Extra at 7:32 in the morning on a Wednesday. We're, of course, following the situation out of El Paso this morning where there's been a flight grounding, the temporary flight restriction put in place around El Paso International Airport. We actually have live images from inside of the ticket counter that we can take for you right now as people are going through. I can't tell if that person's going on a flight or if they've been turned away. So very interesting situation. By the way, I want to say good morning to everybody joining us live. Mary, good morning. Anna Holguin, good morning to you. Thank you very much. Chad, thank you for your comment. We appreciate all of you joining us here this morning. But Sawyer and I have been really puzzled by this case.
It is very interesting, Matthew. You know, it's for 10 days. Usually when you see a ground stop, it's just for a couple of hours,
Sure.
you know, 2, maybe a day at most, but 10 days, and to announce that it's for 10 days. You know, you may have a ground stop and then it gets extended into, you know, a couple days or so, but to be announced today, or I guess starting last night, that this is for 10 days is a long time. And it's not just a ground stop at the airport, of course. It is no flights in the airspace at all for 10 days. That's commercial, cargo, you know, what'd you say, general aviation?
General aviation, yeah, small planes, private jets, any of the sort cannot go anywhere. This airport, by the way, is neighboring Fort Bliss, the large military base that is in El Paso. The reason the FAA has given for this closure is, quote, special security reasons. No other details have been released by the federal government regarding this, but 10 days, that is a significant amount of time for an airport to be shut down completely. We're getting new interviews in from El Paso right now from some flyers who were surprised by this announcement.
We don't have that much information. You wake up in the morning and, you know, they're telling you, oh, don't bother going in, it's closed. And I'm like, how could a whole airport be closed?
Just kind of getting sideswiped because now you don't know because I know a lot of people, you know, they got the military here, you got people that are traveling in business and they want to see their families, and it's going to be kind of heartbreaking.
This is a shocker. It really is a complete shock. To close the airport down for 10 days, that's incredible.
And we're back now live in that same area where a lot of those interviews were gathered not long ago. This announcement coming around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock last night, overnight, where they were closing this airspace completely. So we're not sure if this is going to have any effect on operations going on at Midland International Air and Spaceport, even though it is a fairly nearby airport, even though we're quite far away still from El Paso. It's still in West Texas, where there's no direct flights, to be very clear, from Midland or to El Paso from Midland. However, of course, it is the airport that is a significant airport between here, the only one significant on I-20 between El Paso and Fort Worth and Dallas.
It's a little surprising that there's no flights from here to El Paso. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, not one direct flight.
Makes sense. Yeah,
you would think so. No, you have to go to Dallas or Houston and then to El Paso, so it's kind of the opposite way. There's also no directs to San Antonio as well, kind of different hubs as well. But interesting nonetheless. But we're still following this situation. We'll bring you any updates as we continue to get them into our newsroom. But again, thank you so much for joining us. Leave any comments or questions you have. We'll try and get them answered for you. In the meantime, though, we want to go back to our polls. We'd like West Texas to weigh in. FirstAlert7.com/vote is where you can find this poll. What is the ideal size for a dog? That's very, it's an opinionated question, I think.
It is, yeah. But, you know, that's what these polls are for. You know, we want to get your opinions, and you can also drop what your opinion is or your thoughts are in the comments on Facebook. I went with medium size. I have a medium sized dog, give or take. I don't know exactly what
the cutoff is.
Defines it. She's on the small side. She's a beagle, so she was about 33 pounds, give or take, on a good day. Well, no, on a bad day, actually. Good days around 30. But so I'd say she's about a medium sized dog. You know, I have had small dogs before. My little dog that I brought with me and moved out here with, that sadly passed away, was a Maltese. He weighed 9 pounds. He had no teeth. He was so funny. I love him. I miss him. But then we've pretty much in my family have had small dogs. My parents have a Mom, if you're still watching, please weigh in. I think she's a Morkie. She's like a Maltese Yorkie.
Okay, so a mixed dog.
Yeah, so
okay.
she's small. They have their biggest dog is about 30 pounds right now.
Okay.
So
around there, small to medium border. My dog is currently 75 to 80 pounds. Just depends, both of them. I think the older one is 70 pounds now these days.
So would that be considered a large dog? I think Great
That would be
Dane is like an extra large dog. So I
yeah, I've always bought them, when I buy clothes, large.
large.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, I always feel like a Great Dane is extra large. But in this list, it would be medium.
Jacob Brandenburg's dogs are
Those are
pretty
big
large.
dogs.
Yes, they
Very big dogs. What are they called?
Bernese Mountain Dogs.
Bernese Mountain Dogs,
We
okay.
hung out with them on Sunday, and one of them, the girl dog, is as tall as our director of the show.
Comments for you.
Oh, my mother says that their dog is a Yorkie poo, not a Morkie.
Not a Morkie, a Yorkie
So she's a
poo.
poodle
Okay.
and Yorkie
Very cool.
together.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mom.
Yes, we appreciate you weighing in on that. We need all the help we can get, so we do appreciate it. And again, you can take us with you wherever you go, work or the grocery store.
You can watch your favorite First Alert 7 shows on our app. Download it now on your connected TV, phone, or tablet. Start your mornings with Wake Up West Texas from 5 to 7, and then Wake Up West Texas Extra from 7 to 9 every weekday morning. You can also watch us live, of course, on Facebook and YouTube channel as well.
We have a few minutes for an iCam tour. Why don't we take a live look outside over Fort Stockton? Cloudy.
It is pretty cloudy out there. You know, we are going to see those clouds clearing as we head through the day. That's weird. The FAA was pulled up on this tablet, and I definitely didn't do that. Maybe Lauren Munt did that when she was over here earlier.
Probably so. I think she was
I was
Googling
going to say, I
things,
definitely
yes.
didn't pull that up. Let's go across the country right now and do a little bit of a,
You trying to go to El
iCam
Paso?
tour. You know, it is on the trending iCams for
I bet it is.
reasons.
They're using it as bump shots in other shows as well.
Yes,
We're going to use it as well.
There's El Paso. This is from
Beautiful.
Upper Comanche Peak. As you can see, not a plane in sight.
No, and there's not. I mean, again, let me check my flight radar. I should put it up on screen. I just don't know if that's like a copyrighted thing to show the flight radar, because it has a copyright in the corner, so I don't want to do that.
Let's head a little bit more, I guess, west/northwest from there.
There's a plane flying directly over El Paso International Airport, but they're going to Phoenix. It's a lone Southwest flight, all by itself.
Southwest.
So interesting.
Very odd. Well, and see, that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. I don't know if this is going to change the flight plans of people, or if this is literally just like you can't land there.
I haven't looked at the NOTAM. For those who are familiar, you're probably screaming at me now. I forget. So the TFRs can be in place in a block altitude. So if this flight was cruising,
so it's from
correct,
X
0
to
to
X?
10,000, or I don't know what it is.
So
I'll
if
look
it's
it up.
higher than that altitude, it might be
Yes,
allowed.
let me get myself informed on the TFR itself. But yes, so that is why probably they're able to fly directly over the airport. But they're at 35,000
That
feet.
would make sense.
So anyways, yes, thank you very much for those of you at home who are saying, Matthew, it has a block altitude. Okay.
But this is Phoenix, and I think you just said that plane was headed to Phoenix. So this is Phoenix this morning. Still dark out there, dark and early in Phoenix. And then we'll go one more spot. I want to go, let me see if I can find it easily, to Wales.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. I really do like it, though. I mean, that's gorgeous. Mary says her hometown is Fort Stockton. We got to look at her iCam. Let it go. Thank you, Mary.
Love Fort Stockton. Thank you for tuning in. Our director keeps chiming.
Yes. We love listening to our director.
We do love Fort
yes.
Stockton, yes.
I really do. I mean, that is a place I've come to know and love very much so because...
Yes, the Water Carnival.
Yes, so Mary, you probably know I do the Water Carnival every year for, gosh, it's been, I want to say 5 years now since it came back from COVID. And I love it. I've taken my family, I've actually taken them with me before because that's how much I really enjoy the Water Carnival. And so it's one of my favorite parts of the summer, really. It's in July every year, and I'm looking forward to hopefully being invited back again.
Yes, hopefully.
Lauren and Munt, by the way, was my co-host last year. She got to experience that, and it was wonderful.
Maybe I'll get to hang out with you at the Water Carnival.
I would
this
love
year.
that, Sawyer.
That would be fun. When is it?
Got to get it nailed down, but usually second week of July, Saturday.
Okay.
So we'll have to talk about that here. Oh, Pecos, one of my favorites because of the curve in I-20. You're looking northeast right now in an overcast sky. Traffic moving along just nicely out there on this Wednesday morning commute.
Yes.
We have some crazy videos to show you. Police work can get pretty dangerous at times. Just ask this Tennessee officer who experienced what his boss called rapid tactical descent. Sure, it sounds impressive, but this is actually what it was. The chief's way of giving Sergeant Bennett a hard time after straight up falling off of this front porch. You can see body camera footage caught the entire thing, including the sergeant worrying that he actually broke his leg or caused the demise of a pink flamingo in the garden, which you'd appreciate.
The flamingo.
Right. Here's his body cam. There it goes.
Uh-oh.
all the way down and rolls slowly into the bushes below.
Onto the accent light. That probably hurt.
It didn't feel great. He actually thought he broke his leg. In the video, I listened to it. He says, I think I broke my leg. I thought he was joking, but he was actually worried about that. The sergeant's pride was busted up as well, Sawyer.
I bet.
This is Monterey, Tennessee Police. They provided a tongue-in-cheek summary of the whole thing, including some funny comments from Sergeant Bennett on its Facebook page. I love this story.
Honestly, it's probably like, clearly he didn't get hurt, aside from
tumbling down.
maybe some scrapes and bruises, but his partner was there, and, his partner's probably giving him.
Oh, he's catching some. He's got a nickname
Yes.
now, I imagine, at the department.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not even that far of a drop from the porch, but I guess maybe he didn't know it was there or as big of a drop as it was.
Mary says looks painful.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
think
he fell into
so.
like the porch light, and then I think his partner got scared because did you see him like
Well, he
running
just took
away?
off running. I guess he heard commotion. You never know.
Yeah, you never
know.
And I don't think we're given context of what the call was.
No, and I don't know what it was either. I didn't get that. Maybe it didn't seem like it was too serious,
No,
but
they're
I don't know.
inside the house, but
Maybe it was just a quick
yeah,
call
but
or
his friend
something.
here, watch, ready?
Oh,
And then he takes off.
it's
Oh,
the
no,
other
it's
camera
the other
shot.
camera shot.
Yes, it's on the next
Ooh.
part of the video. I think it loops one more time to be able to see it. Ruth says from Alpine, enjoy all the good news updates and weather as well.
Thank you, Ruth.
Oh, all the good news and updates. Yes, there we go.
We do love Alpine as well. Yeah, his friend's like,
And his
whoa.
legs just go rolling into the sky. Goodness gracious. Well, I'm glad he's all right, though.
Or are there 3 guys there?
Yes, one's wearing camera,
Okay.
that one's wearing camera, and there's 3 officers total.
Interesting.
And the chief got a hold of this video real quick.
Love it.
Good thing is they wear a vest for protection, Mary points out.
Yes.
Very true. Look at this manatee recovering after a scary moment in Florida. First responders in Melbourne Beach used a crane to get the marine mammal out of a storm drain on Monday. Officials said that the adult manatee was active. It didn't show signs of cold stress once it got rescued. Wildlife authorities worked with federal, state, and local partners. This was a huge scene to figure out the best way to get this manatee out. Hundreds of manatees come to Blue Springs State Park to get warm during colder weather, and this one got stuck, and this was a full news story throughout the entire day yesterday.
Oh, I bet.
Look at that scene. It reminds me in a way of like the Baby Jessica situation, those kind of shots there where all the agencies coming together, construction workers to be able to rescue this, in this case, a manatee.
Well, manatees are protected animals in Florida. If you're out in the water and swimming, you cannot touch them. If you're out in SeaWa and you're not allowed to touch them, you can get fined because they are, I believe, a threatened species. So they are protected. So this was a big deal, of course, to get it out safely and keep it alive at that.
Absolutely. So glad everything turned out okay. A new burn. This North Carolina couple is proving love really can be sweet. 19-year-old Reagan Baker and 18-year-old Isaiah McKinley exchanged vows last week at Cow Cafe. The couple says the ice cream shop has always held a special place in their hearts. It's where they met and had their first date just a year ago. And Spot McKinley visited often as a child with his grandma. So when it came time to say I do, they knew exactly where to do it. While an ice cream parlor may be an unexpected wedding venue, the couple says it felt like the perfect gift for them. The ceremony also marked a first for the Cow Cafe. It was the shop's first wedding, making the day extra sweet for everyone involved. Something I would do for sure.
Oh, yeah, I love
Without
ice
a
cream.
doubt.
I'm like craving ice cream now. I love ice cream, even when it's cold outside. Minnesota was interesting because they closed down some of their ice cream shops between like October and March because of how cold it gets. And I thought that was really odd because I will still crave ice cream when it's 30 below outside. I don't care.
Me too.
And of course, it makes sense that it was the first wedding because that is a little bit of an unconventional spot to get married, but
That it is,
love
for
that.
sure.
What is your favorite flavor of ice cream, Matthew?
Ooh, now that's a poll question if I've
It
ever heard one.
is.
Goodness gracious. It's between Rocky Road and Butter Pecan. Old fashioned, yes, I know. Right. And between the two, it'd probably be Rocky Road.
I do love Rocky Road. Rocky Road's pretty good. It's in my top, I'd say like 3. My favorite is a good old chocolate chip cookie dough. I'm a very big
Very
fan
good.
of cookie dough in general. If there's a tub of cookie dough and it's edible, I'll sit.
Have you tried cookies over Texas, HEB Cream of Creations? That or Texas Two-Step? I think she would love those. Absolutely. I'm talking to Lauren Munn off camera, by the way. You would enjoy those a lot. I might have to get you a tub. Right. I think I have one in my freezer. I haven't opened yet, a pint. Okay. You'd need it. I don't want to have it. I shouldn't need it. So I'm going to gift it to you.
Okay, perfect.
Something else I want to gift to you, some McDonald's. Oh. But not just any McDonald's, caviar. at McDonald's.
No, thank
I know,
you.
it actually doesn't sound that
I would
good.
rather have normal McDonald's.
That's right.
Give me the chicken nuggets,
That's
please.
right, the nuggies. The Golden Arches has a way to soften the blow from this price here. Add some caviar to it. Mickey D's is offering a kit that contains an ounce of caviar. It is meant to pair with what else? Chicken nuggets. The best part, though, it's free, swear. Starting Tuesday, you can order yours at mcnugget-caviar.com. It's not clear how many kits are available, but at the price you can bet it's not going to be a lot, and the combo is not the brainchild of some twisted marketer. Pairing caviar with McNuggets became a bit of a thing on social media, apparently. Even singer Rihanna posted about it.
Wasn't this a thing at some like music festival? And that was where this started, was that they had chicken nuggets and caviar. I don't know if it was McDonald's, but it was like, or chicken tenders and caviar. I think that's where this started. But
Any way you put this, it sounds wrong.
I will definitely be passing on this. This sounds disgusting.
Your mom says yuck. I'm with you there.
I agree. Just give me the good old chicken nuggets with the barbecue sauce or the honey mustard sauce.
Honey
And
mustard? They have honey mustard?
At McDonald's, yes.
Really?
It's good. It's like one of those like tangy honey mustards.
And it's just one of the normal packet sauce bucket things? I've never heard of honey mustard at McDonald's. Interesting.
Okay, we're going to McDonald's after the show.
Sounds good to me, Sawyer. You don't tell me twice. The United Nations, meanwhile, has named this year's theme for International Day of Women and Girls in Science.
Oh,
I
this was
teased
what you were
Sawyer a little
talking
bit earlier.
about,
I said,
yes.
we're going to be talking about your smartness a little bit later.
thank
The
you.
theme is synergizing AI. I know,
Oh.
I know. Social science, STEM, and finance. You're a STEM person, of course. I think you are. Building inclusive futures for women and girls, which the UN hopes can close the gender gap in digital skills, inspire more women-led startups, progress AI, I should say, that helps reduce gender biases and gain more economic opportunities. But yes, I of course think of our resident female scientist who is in STEM.
It is International Day of Women and Girls
Girls
in
in
Science
Science,
today.
yes.
And yes, I am one of the resident scientists here. Our digital content producer, Katie, is also a
Yes.
scientist. She's actually a biologist.
That's right.
And I was talking with Lauren last night, who's just off the screen, and I was like, she needs to help you with your biology homework.
I know, yes, it's something for sure. I certainly am not a biologist, nor will I ever claim to be a scientist of any sort. But yes, we appreciate all the scientists in the world, especially the female scientists, pushing the boundaries, of course, as well as those gender biases we always talk about. So I'm really glad to see. Happy Women in Science Day, Girls in Science Day.
Yes, love it.
We've still got a lot more to come this morning on Wake Up West Texas Extra.
Thank you for streaming with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Wake Up West Texas Extra 7:52 on this Wednesday morning, the peak of the week. We go from extra to the peak of the week. A lot of hand signs we have here, don't we? It's a thing.
We're a little
animated.
Yeah, I would say yeah. We get through the show any way we can, and sometimes that's by doing hand signs.
Being unusual, yes, that is for sure. We're so glad you're with us, though, on this Wednesday morning. We're having a great time here on Wake Up West Texas Extra. We're still following the situation out of El Paso. We'll talk more about that in just a little while longer. It's a fascinating situation as the airspace has been closed around El Paso International Airport because of special security reasons, according to the FAA. I spoke earlier about an airplane passing over, a Southwest flight, passing over El Paso, thinking that's kind of odd because there's a TFR. Remembering that there is block altitudes for these TFRs, and I've learned it is 17,999 feet MSL, so that is 18,000 feet in altitude over from the surface up to that space. This flight was flying well over that, so not included in the TFR.
That's not terribly high.
No, it's not, and that's typical for TFRs. Usually it's a very tight airspace, but it strictly says excludes Mexican airspace. So this is not included in Mexico, even though you'll see on the map, if you go to the FAA's website, there's a circle that includes Juarez there. It is not included in this area, but that's the only thing we see. It's a security type of restriction. And that's all I can tell right now. Radius is 10 nautical miles around the airport itself. So all of El Paso, and not quite up to Las Cruces, it does look like. It is not included in that. Fort Bliss, also to the north, is not fully included in that, and Las Cruces is not as well. They have their own smaller airport there. So just to clarify and touch back on that, Mary says, are you all enjoying coffee? Water for me, unfortunately. I got to keep these vocal cords nice and clean. But thank you anyways, Mary. Again, appreciate you talking with us early this morning. Let's talk some news now across the nation. Authorities have detained and later released a person of interest in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Here's this story.
Authorities have released a man detained earlier as a person of interest in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The person was reportedly detained at a traffic stop Tuesday in a city south of Tucson. This development comes 11 days after Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, was first reported missing, and hours after the FBI released images showing a masked individual standing outside Nancy Guthrie's home on the night she was abducted. The leaders of 3 major immigration agencies were on Capitol Hill Tuesday to defend the Trump administration's mass deportation campaign. In testimony provided to the House Homeland Security Committee, the officials touted the hundreds of thousands of deportations the administration has carried out and said recent protests in Minneapolis have placed their agents in danger. The actions of immigration agents have come under fire in recent weeks in the wake of the shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. And American curlers made history Tuesday at the Winter Olympics. The U.S. mixed curling team of Corey Teesey and Corey Dropkin became the first American mixed doubles curling team to reach the medal round since the event was introduced at the Olympics in 2018. The U.S. team won the silver medal, narrowly losing to Sweden in the gold medal round. Those are some of the day's top stories. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
Curling.
We talked about it a lot yesterday.
We did.
Sadly, they came up just short of getting the gold, but still very good.
Yes.
And one of the best placements ever for, I believe, the mixed team.
So awesome to hear about that. We're going to take a quick news and weather update for our friends on First Alert 7, the TV station. We'll be right back with Wake Up West Texas Extra in just a moment.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Time now is 7:56 on this Wednesday. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Sawyer McElroy with a check of the forecast. Sawyer, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew. Happy Wednesday. Here's a look at those First Alert weather headlines as we do start off the day. Things will be a touch cooler across the region behind that cold front that we saw yesterday and the rain as well. Here's a live look outside over the skies of Pecos, where we are seeing traffic moving along nicely and hanging on to some clouds. Temperatures currently sitting anywhere from the 30s to the 50s across the region. 39 in Midland, 38 here in Odessa. Those winds anywhere from being calm to 10 miles per hour, and those wind chill values anywhere from the 20s across portions of the northern Permian Basin into southeast New Mexico to the 50s. Feeling like 39 in Midland, feels like 34 here in Odessa. We are hanging on to some clouds still, but otherwise quiet conditions to start off the day, and temperatures will be cooler overall with highs into the 60s and even 70s for a few coming up later on. 64 for Midland, 63 for Odessa, 62 for Pecos, 64 for Fort Stockton, 76 for Presidio. Winds anywhere from about 5 to 20 miles per hour. Strongest winds expected across portions of southeast New Mexico. Here's a look at what to expect tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. Lows a little bit on the cool to mild side, even into the 40s and 50s heading into Thursday. 48 for Midland and Odessa. Here's a look at that First Alert 7 10-day forecast, where we are going to see a big warm up heading into tomorrow ahead of a cool down Friday and Saturday and Sunday, as well as another system does pass through the area and bring more rain and storm chances to the region. And like I mentioned, some storms will be possible coming up on Friday night into Saturday.
Sawyer, thank you very much. This morning, the community of Wink is in mourning. Tegan Hernandez was the boy who was killed in a rollover crash Sunday night. Hernandez was one of 5 teenagers in that pickup truck when it rolled over. The 4 other kids are recovering from what has been described as serious injuries. Tegan was just 14 years old and a student at Wink Loving ISD. They are asking all students and staff to honor Tegan today by wearing his favorite colors, red or green. Wink Loving ISD asks that you keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Fix West Texas sounding the alarm that the Midland Animal Shelter is at capacity and adoptions and fosters are urgently needed. In fact, it's full of puppies. Unfortunately, the city may have to euthanize some of these dogs to make room for more strays and owner surrenders if they're not taken from the shelter now. Fostering is free of charge, and Fix West Texas will provide the food, kennel, and potty pads if you are just willing to bring a dog home for even a short time. Last night was the Distinguished Lecture Series brought on by Holly Rowe in UT Permian Basin. She was a sideline reporter and is for many sports like football and women's basketball for ESPN, sharing her story of her career and inspirational message to those in attendance. Always free of charge as well. We'll be back in just half an hour. Keep it right here on First Alert 7. Be sure to tune in to Wake Up West Texas Extra, streaming now.
From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning everyone, 8:02 on this Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for streaming with us here on Facebook Live, our YouTube channel, as well as FirstAlert7.com. We've got a lot of news to get to this morning because we're following a story out of El Paso where the entire airspace has been put under a temporary flight restriction by the FAA. Here's a live look inside of the ticket counter of El Paso International Airport. Again, these are live images right now of the ticket counter where it's very empty, and this, I don't see this every day, but I'm pretty sure that would be much more full on a Wednesday morning. A lot of business folks flying in and out of the airport there, and right now it is just about all but dead, essentially, for those airport workers there. The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, citing the TFR as special security reasons. That is as far as we've seen. The altitude block is up to 18,000 feet from the ground, so that is the block altitude that they are keeping out, about 10 nautical miles around the airport itself, which encompasses the city of El Paso. It does not include the airspace of Mexico and Juarez there. It does not include that as well. Fort Bliss, a portion of it is not included in this TFR as well, and as the other city, Las Cruces, that's what it is, is not included as well. Their sister city. They're kind of like the Midland, Odessa of the far west Texas area, except one's in a different state.
Yes, this is a very interesting development this morning, or actually really starting last night. You know, I saw it when I woke up this morning, but was just expecting it to be, for a couple of hours. But then, we got into work. Or a
small security issue
we
or
were
something.
Talking about it, and now it's 10 days, and the fact that it's already, been distinguished as 10 days is very interesting. And then, I would expect the airport to be a little bit more busy, even. There's another camera in the background.
Yeah, a lot of news crews are there. I mean, it's the story of the day, especially for local El Paso stations. That is where we're going to get a lot of our information from as we go through the rest of our morning. We're going to be following the situation as it develops in El Paso. We heard from some travelers, which we'll hear about later on, about how shocked they were showing up for their flights. I can't imagine. They had a 5 a.m. flight. They were asleep when this TFR was issued, and it got canceled.
Well, and obviously it's something that I feel like the airlines would alert you for, but unlike weather or whatever, that's not like something that they can be like, hey, so maybe you do have to show up to the airport and be like, okay, what do I do
Hey, what's the plan
now? Yeah.
And I imagine it's a lot of reimbursements, I guess. I'm not sure about that. And, it's not like El Paso is close to another major city with another international airport. It would be quite far. Midland is actually the only other major airport along Interstate 20 other than in Dallas and El Paso. That's the interesting thing about that. Abilene has a smaller airport as well, but that's about it. It's El Paso, Midland, and all the way to DFW out there in Love Field. Those are about it. And of course, you go up north to Preston Smith and Lubbock, but really, that's why we're trying to figure out if Midland's operations would be affected by this. As you know, there's no direct flights to or from Midland and El Paso, not connected in any way. So we'll have to keep our eye on this story as it continues to develop.
Yes.
But now we want to talk about West Texas weighs in, our polls of the morning. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? We talked about this the last hour because a teenage now married couple got married at and had their wedding at an ice cream parlor.
Yes, and then of course I asked, because I'm starving at this time of day, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? So please weigh in. Go to firstalert7.com/vote or scan that QR code there. And it's also up on our website. There's a tab that says vote between community and sports. So click on that. Weigh in this morning. We have 50-50 right now out of the 6 options. Cookies and cream, 50%, and 50% say cookie dough. So the cookie flavors are...
We've had a development.
Okay, it changed. Chocolate has 16%, cookie dough has 34%, 16 for strawberry, 34 for cookies and cream. So that one is, still tied with cookie dough.
It's time for our morning segment where we ask the director, what do you think? What's your favorite flavor? Chocolate, okay. Mint chocolate chip.
Matthew.
Oh. Let's talk about that for about 10, 15 minutes.
Pull him up on camera.
The viewers who have known me and been with me every step of the way know how I feel about mint. You all know. I've made it very clear. I can't stand mint in ice cream. I can't.
That is so
Please tell me I'm wrong in the
funny.
comment section, by the way, if you feel like it.
No,
tell me I'm right.
I love mint chocolate chip. It's very good. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely up there. We were talking about you like Rocky Road as well. I like Rocky Road, mint chocolate chip, and cookie dough are probably my top 3. I did have a mint chocolate chip ice cream out here relatively recently, and it was very minty.
Oh, I can't. Toothpaste, right? It was like toothpaste.
Not toothpaste.
I'll tell you what.
Like but it was a lot of mint, and it was a little overwhelming.
I bet it was.
I ended up actually like getting used to it and then liking it. But yes, it's from a place that you can get ice cream from out here.
Norman wants to chime in saying butter pecan. Norman, that's what I said this the last, I don't know, 15 minutes or so ago. Butter pecan and Rocky Road. I'm an old-fashioned guy, obviously. I have an old soul. And that is my second favorite, probably to Rocky Road. I like the specialty flavors, not just the normal Neapolitan or strawberry chocolate vanilla. I like to have some extra stuff in there, some texture.
Yeah, mine is cookie dough. I love cookie dough. I love to eat just plain cookie dough. So.
Yeah. Cookie dough is great. Yeah, exactly. It's that's why I was recommending Texas two-step. Cookies over Texas is another one from H-E-B. Very good flavors. Really, really good. But yeah, let us know. Strawberries also kind of slept on as well. It's nice and refreshing, especially if the actual strawberry chunks in it.
Yeah,
not
I'm
bad.
not a big fan of that.
And we're talking about this in the middle of winter, of course, but Sawyer and I are kind of the same in the fact that
I love ice cream. I don't care what
temperature it is. No, I'm the same way.
There could be snow on the ground and I'll be getting ice cream.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Vote by going to firstalert7.com/vote. Click at the top like Sawyer mentioned. There's a tab there to be able to vote. All right.
All right, let's take a look at our iCam this morning. Currently in looking out over Pecos, where we are hanging on to a great deal of clouds. Traffic moving along nicely there on the interstate. And here's a look at, another iCam across. Let's see where we're going to go. Well, hold on. It's not working. Why is
You're
this not
sifting
working?
through iCams?
It's not pulling up my list of things.
I'm sorry.
I think this is broken.
I have to
things
log
that are
out sometimes and log back in when I've been logged in too long. I have to do that sometimes. She's on a control panel that controls all of our iCams.
I'm not on the list. I'm on the map view. Duh.
Oh, okay.
That'll do that. Let's go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sure.
The Tulsa, Oklahoma iCam looking great out there. Let's see what we can pull up on your screen. There it is.
There we
Downtown
go.
Tulsa looking fantastic out there. Fairly sunny skies, partly cloudy conditions looks like there.
Yeah, speaking of flying, this is where I've actually never flown into, but this is where my family flies into when they go to visit my sister and niece and nephew, Tulsa or OKC.
They fly into Tulsa to drive to OKC? Where do they live?
They don't live in OKC.
They don't? Okay. I don't know why I thought they did.
No, they live in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. So it kind of works either
yes,
way. Okay.
so it's either one.
It's like the Pioneer Woman in Pawhuska.
Sure.
You don't watch that, do you?
No.
Okay. Anyways, well, looking great out there, Sawyer, to start off this morning. I'm curious how the rest of our forecast looks here at home.
Yeah, it is a little bit chilly as we do start off our day compared to what we had been seeing yesterday, of course. Here's a look at those winds as we start off the day. It's okay. And here's a look at those wind chill values. Of course, even though winds are light, we are seeing wind chill values across the region into the 20s across portions of the northern Permian Basin. Here's a look at that radar where we are hanging on to quiet conditions, but some clouds. Temperatures will warm as we head through the day. A little bit cooler, though, than we saw yesterday behind a front and some rain as well. Those temperatures will warm into the 60s and 70s, 64 for Midland, 63 for Odessa. Here's a look at that First Alert 7-10-day forecast. Warming things up Thursday, cooling things down heading back into the weekend with more rain and storm chances in the forecast as well.
Sawyer, thank you very much. Now for your morning extra news you can use on this Wednesday morning. We'll begin tracking crime where a sex offender wanted by Kermit police has been arrested in Central Texas, specifically in Brownwood. Aaron Boner was wanted for failure to comply with sex offender registration. He evaded arrest Friday and fled Kermit. A Crime Stoppers tip led authorities to find Boner in Brownwood, where he was arrested Saturday. A woman at the scene, Megan Blankenship, was also arrested and charged with obstruction. We are your first alert on an accident that happened in Midland, killing one person. We're still working on information on this crash. We do know it happened along Midland Drive at West Dengar Avenue. Traffic in both directions had to be diverted for quite some time. Again, no details have been released just yet, but we do know one person has died in this crash. In Big Spring, the school district is warning parents about a planned student walkout reportedly scheduled for tomorrow. According to a Facebook post, the district says messages are circulating among middle school and high school students about the walkout, which is not supported by the school district. School officials want to remind families that leaving school grounds without permission violates the student code of conduct and could result in unexcused absences and disciplinary action. The district says while they respect staff and students' right to express opinions, such expression cannot disrupt instruction or compromise safety. Big Spring ISD says that individuals without educational purposes will not be permitted on campus during the planned walkout. The community of Wink is in mourning. Tegan Hernandez, the boy who was killed in a rollover crash on Sunday night. Hernandez was one of the teenagers in the pickup truck when it rolled over. The 4 other kids are recovering from what is described as serious injuries. Now, Tegan was just 14 years old and was a student at Wink Loving ISD. They're asking all students to wear his favorite colors today in his honor, red and green. Wink Loving ISD asks that you keep their community in your thoughts and prayers over the next week. And that was your Morning Extra for today. You can find all the latest news, weather, and sports by logging on to firstalert7.com as we take a live look outside once again this morning on Wednesday over the skies of Presidio. Looking great out there to start off the morning. Beautiful iCam there. And also, don't forget, take us with you wherever you go. Download our app on your connected TV, smartphone, or tablet. The app is completely free in the Apple App Store and Google Play. More Wake Up West Texas Extra continues in just a moment.
Now from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good morning and happy Wednesday, everybody. Here's a look at those First Alert weather headlines. A touch cooler today behind a cold front and that rain that we saw yesterday, with a quick warm up on the way Thursday, ahead of some thunderstorms and even some severe weather potential Friday and into Saturday as well. Here's a look at our temperature trend as we head throughout the next 10 days. Temperatures will be above normal for this time of year, ranging from 2 degrees above normal on Saturday to 15 degrees above normal coming up tomorrow, and rain and storm chances back in the forecast starting on Friday, especially by Friday Friday night, where we do have a 90% chance of rain and storms. And like I mentioned, the potential for some severe weather with isolated strong severe storms possible for those areas highlighted in green heading into Friday. We are hanging on to clouds this morning, but quiet conditions. Temperatures across the state ranging from the 20s to the 60s. 37 currently at the International Air and Spaceport. Those winds anywhere from being calm to about 10 miles per hour, and just dealing with some clouds across the western portions of the state into the Panhandle, and then also still dealing with some showers near the Houston area this morning. Wind chill values anywhere from the 20s to the 60s, feeling like 33 at Midland International Air and Spaceport. For today, going to see a high of about 64 degrees, 48 overnight for the low. If you are traveling to Dallas, expect a high of 69 degrees.
That's bad timing.
Sunny skies, 77, and some rain for Houston, 76 with sunshine for Austin, 63 with partly cloudy skies for Lubbock. Our director is causing issues. Here's a look at that First Alert 7 10-day forecast. Cooler today, warming up Thursday, cooling things down once again heading into the weekend.
Thank you, Sawyer, very much. Of course, the temperature's not looking too bad whatsoever. I have some very interesting breaking news to bring you out of El Paso. I know we've been talking about this FAA flight closure over the skies of El Paso for a few hours now. Well, suddenly at 7:54, the FAA went onto X or Twitter and posted that they have lifted the temporary closure of the airspace.
Do you think they've been hacked?
I hope not. I hope not. Because it was supposed to be for 10 days until February 20th. They say, quote, and I quote this from their Twitter, the temporary closure of airspace over El Paso has been lifted. There is no threat, I repeat, no threat to commercial aviation. All flights will resume as normal. And you can see the ticket counter there probably going to pick up an activity as flights try to get back on track after being thrown off for almost 8 to 9 hours now. And they've been reporting this, by the way, coming from the Twitter account, the X account from the FAA. That's the source we're getting this from. So it's actually the page of the FAA. And also the Associated Press reporting this as well. So multiple agencies are reporting this as well. We're keeping an eye on all the developments of this right now. But that's what we have for you, is that all of a sudden it is now lifted. Sawyer.
Very odd.
Very odd indeed, because it was supposed to be 10 days long. It'd be something if it was 12 hours and they cut it short a few hours, but this is cut short 9.5 days. Fascinating. We're still not sure. Again, initially they were reporting by the FAA that this TFR was put into place up to 18,000 feet for, quote, security reasons. So not special security reasons. So no details on exactly what that was, what it was for, or what it represents. So of course we're going to continue to follow this story out of El Paso. I imagine there's got to be a statement from the Transportation Secretary.
There has.
Secretary Duffy, I imagine, possibly would make a statement a little bit later. We're not 100% sure of this, but we're, again, keeping a very close eye on the developments out of El Paso because that affects a lot of people. 700,000 people live in El Paso. It is the gateway to a lot of areas, including in Mexico, West Texas, Texas itself, and other parts of the country. The airport, of course, neighboring Fort Bliss there, the military base located in El Paso, the most prominent one. So definitely a lot of travelers out there, but you'll notice the ticket counter, we saw it a little bit earlier, really dead for a Wednesday morning, a normal business day there at the airport. But just to reiterate, in case you're just joining us, El Paso's flight restriction, where they had closed the airspace around El Paso to all flight travel, has now been lifted as of 7:54 this morning after the FAA made that announcement via X. So again, something we're going to continue to follow over the next few days or so if this continues to develop in this manner. Very fascinating stuff that we're talking about as well. Turning now to headlines here at home while we continue our research of this interesting story. First Alert 7's Lauren Munt had a tearjerker of a story this morning about brotherly love. A brother training 26.2 miles is what he has to run in a marathon. His brother, though, diagnosed with a terminal illness. And so his brother, that was his original goal, was to be in a marathon and complete that. And now he can't because of his ailment. And so his brother's stepping up to train and help him reach that goal, even if he's in a wheelchair situation. So here's a look at Lauren's story.
Every Wednesday at 5 a.m., there's a group that gathers outside the YMCA to run.
Thank you for the encouragement that each of us get up and take care of the temple that you gave us. Be with us all on this run, get us all back here safe because in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Now, each person is running for a different reason. For Zach Foster, that reason is his brother. In December 2024, Joseph Howell was diagnosed with stage 2 adenocarcinoma. Doctors told him that he would be cancer-free by his birthday in July. But things quickly took a turn for the worse late January when the cancer spread throughout his entire body. A terminal diagnosis.
He has 2 kids, 4 and 3, so I can't imagine the toll that takes on somebody. I mean, it's hard to see someone you love in that shape, but we're just praying that things are on the up and up, and he does end up getting a little better just to have more time with him.
Zach had no plans to run a marathon this year, but it's something that his brother has always wanted to accomplish.
Whenever he puts his head to something, he sticks with it. So that's why I get up every morning, because I know he can't, but if he could, he would. So I've got to hold myself accountable to do that on his behalf.
Now, Zach has run marathons before, but this one's different.
But the goal isn't to break any records, it's just to finish this one and enjoy it for what it is.
On March 1st, he'll push his brother for all 26.2 miles.
All right.
But before that, he's got to train. So for now, he runs with bags of rocks to match Joseph's current weight.
Easy and hard are very subjective words. So yeah, I'm pushing 100 pounds in a stroller for 10 to 12 miles sometimes. But relatively speaking, that's easy compared to what some other people go through. So, and whenever I got the news, I said, well, I've got to kick it into gear. So even if it's 5 degrees outside and my training calls for pushing the stroller, there's going to be some rocks in it, and I'm going to be outside pushing the stroller.
Like Zach said, this marathon isn't about winning. It's about doing something meaningful while there's still time.
Man, if you're willing and able to, then go out there and do something for somebody that can't do it for themselves.
This year, the finish line isn't a place. It's a promise.
Just an incredible story of brotherly love there by Lauren Munt. Really fascinating to hear the story. Now, his brother's taking part in a clinical trial in France that they're having a GoFundMe page put up for, and they already have it up for financial support, obviously, because it's expensive to get over there and take part in that clinical trial. Hoping it works, and at the very minimum, he said, hope it extends his time with his brother.
Yes.
So, really sweet story there. We're going to take a quick news and weather update for our friends on CBS on First Alert 7. So, stay with us. More Wake Up West Texas Extra in just a few moments.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Good morning, everyone. Time now is 8:25. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Sawyer McElroy on this Wednesday. Sawyer, yesterday a bit dreary outside, really nice rainy day, but how's today shaping up?
Yeah, it is a little bit cooler as we do start off our day, and cooler overall heading through our Wednesday. Things will warm up though nicely heading into tomorrow for Thursday, with highs back into the 70s and even 80s for some. Here's a live look outside over the skies of Presidio into Ojinaga. Very nice day out there. Lots of blue sky and sunshine. Temperature sitting at 52 degrees already out there in Presidio. 40 in Midland, currently 38 here in Odessa. Winds anywhere from being calm to 10 miles per hour. And we are seeing wind chill values anywhere from the 20s to the 50s. Feeling like 40 in Midland currently. 34 for that feels like temperature here in Odessa. We are hanging on to some clouds, especially across the Permian Basin into southeast New Mexico. But quiet conditions. Temperatures, like I mentioned, will be cooler with highs into the 60s and 70s for some. 64 for Midland, 63 for Odessa. Winds anywhere from about 5 to 20 miles per hour. Strongest winds across portions of southeast New Mexico. Coming up tonight, mostly cloudy skies, quiet conditions, lows a little bit more mild heading into Thursday, only into the 40s and 50s overnight. Here's a look at that First Alert 7 10-day forecast. A big warm up heading into Thursday before cooling things down Friday and into the weekend, with more rain and thunderstorm chances on the way, and even the potential for severe weather coming up on Friday night. night into Saturday. So something to keep an eye on as we head through the next couple of days. Then temperatures, like I mentioned, cooler Saturday and Sunday into the mid to upper 60s. And then 70s do make their return coming up Monday and Tuesday, along with breezy conditions making their return to the forecast as well.
All right, Sawyer, thank you very much. Let's begin with your first alert on a deadly crash that happened in Midland just last night. We're still working to learn more about, but we do know one person was killed. It happened there on Long Midland Drive at the intersection of West Dingar Avenue. Traffic in both directions had to be diverted for quite some time. Again, we don't have much information about this crash. We're working to gather more. We just know that one person has been killed in this crash. In Wink, the community remains in mourning after the loss of Tegan Hernandez, a boy who was killed in a rollover crash Sunday night. Hernandez was one of 5 teenagers in that pickup truck when it rolled over that we told you about yesterday. The 4 other teenagers in the vehicle were recovering with what has been described as serious injuries. Tegan was 14 years old and a Wink student. They are asking all students and staff to honor him today by wearing his favorite colors of red and green. Wink-Loving ISD asks that you keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Odessa City Council met last night, and one of the items on their agenda, a resolution to approve the annual financial report, but this one is for the year 2023 to 2024. Representatives from Weaver, the financial services firm that conducted the audit, presented an overview, and the council approved it. Mayor Cal Hendricks spoke about the importance of getting this done.
I'm proud to say that with the filing of this particular audit, it was 2023-2024 year, City of Odessa is now 100% caught up with all its audits. That means we've already got our bond counsel and investors working, trying to get our credit rating back from Moody's and Standard & Poor's. So hopefully it should be very short.
The full 136-page report is available on the city's website, odessa-tx.gov. Mayor Hendrick also said that he hopes the council will be able to get the credit rating back for the city of Odessa. A quick reminder for you, Fix West Texas says the animal shelter is full in Midland and adoptions and fosters are needed, especially for these puppies. They may be euthanized if we don't get help. So if you're interested, reach out to Fix West Texas. They'll provide food, kennels, even a potty pad if you need them for a short time or long time, up to you. We'll have another check of the news and weather in just half an hour. In the meantime, join us on Wake Up West Texas Extra, streaming right now on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and firstalert7.com. Make it a great Wednesday.
From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning to you, and thank you so much for waking up with us on this peak of the week, Wednesday morning. And what an eventful Wednesday it has been in the way of news.
Yes.
Not so much weather, Sawyer. Yesterday was actually quite nice. We saw drizzly conditions off and on throughout the entire day until about mid-afternoon, and then things really looked nice outside. I saw a roll cloud over the cities.
Yeah, I saw that posted by the National Weather Service. They look menacing, but they are harmless, just very cool, I would say detachments of the clouds from kind of the main clouds.
Sure, yeah.
And looks really cool. So yeah, I saw that. That was fun. Didn't really pick up a ton of rain across the area, but we'll take all that we can get. And it was kind of a nice, steady, light rain throughout the day. So, and I know you were saying like even yesterday afternoon and evening, some of the roads were still flooded. And those,
and the usual spots.
Yeah,
I went through Muskingum. I was downtown, and I was like, wow, it's actually still quite puddled here.
That's funny.
Even from a light drizzle. So that kind of tells you, yes, very sensitive areas for sure. Let's turn now to our breaking news this morning. It has changed, ever developing out of El Paso. We told you earlier that all flights to and from El Paso International Airport has been closed and stopped with a TFR, a temporary flight restriction from the FAA because of, quote, special security reasons. That has now been lifted as of 7:54 after the FAA said at 7:54 all commercial aircraft are safe, there are no threats, and they have lifted this temporary flight restriction. We've noticed significant activity now in this ticket counter since the lifting of this TFR, and expecting more so as flights go back on schedule this morning.
Man, that was a quick 10 days.
Well, that's the thing, too. It was supposed to be 10 days long, turned out to be 8-9 hours at most.
Well, and you don't have to issue, it doesn't have to be for 10 days. You can issue, just for a couple of hours, indefinite, where, it could be a couple hours, give or take the situation, 12 hours. But the fact that they issued it for 10 days, came back,
and canceled
not even 12 hours later, and canceled it is intriguing. I mean, the fact that it was issued in general was, interesting, but even more that they've lifted it. And of course, maybe people at home were like, oh man, I'm not going to go to the airport because my flight's going to be canceled. Well, now that's not the case because they can fly now.
And I bet you the delays are stacked up now. I'm sure the delays we're going to look on the website and see how the delays are shaping up right now. It should be updated pretty much, but I'm seeing luggage going in now in this shot right here. This is live, by the way, inside the ticket counter. Luggage is going in. People are adding tags. Luggage tags are getting their tickets. Things are moving along now at El Paso International. So all seems well, but in looking at these add more questions than answers than if it were to go on for days on end. At least we knew that was going to be the case. Now it's been lifted for no reason given at all. It's just a quick post on X by the FAA itself saying it's lifted. No reason given, not saying the threat is over, saying everyone is safe, which kind of adds more questions as well, as it said all commercial aircraft, there are no threat to them. Was there a threat? Questions that need to be answered by the government. Secretary Duffy, I'm hoping, will give some sort of statement or clarification on this throughout the rest of the day. We'll keep our eye on it. But a lot of questions and answers lack of answers, I should say, this morning. But yeah, let's take a listen to some travelers earlier who showed up to El Paso International early this morning, ready for their flight, and being told they couldn't take off.
We don't have that much information. You wake up in the morning and they're telling you, oh, don't bother going in, it's closed. And I'm like, how could a whole airport be closed?
Just kind of getting sideswiped because now you don't know. Because a lot of people, they got the military here, you got people that are traveling in business and they want to see their families, and it's going to be kind of heartbreaking.
This is a shocker. It really is. Complete shock. To close the airport down for 10 days, that's incredible.
We're looking live again at that ticket counter inside of El Paso International, where activity has really increased significantly in the last hour. But again, El Paso International Airport once again open, up and running. All flights resume. No threat, according to the FAA, as of 7:54 this morning. We'll continue following the story as it develops the rest of our day. Much lighter news is West Texas weighs in. We want to see your answers to these questions. So vote right now at firstalert7.com/vote. Scan the QR code, go to our website at the very top, and you can click on vote right there to be able to chime in with your answers to this. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? I voted out of this list. I want to say butter pecan, but cookies and cream is a good one too for me. Those two are probably my top.
Okay, that changes your answer from earlier in the show, but that's fine.
It's because Rocky Road's not on here.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It didn't make the list because yes, it was Rocky Road and butter pecan, but cookies and cream is in there as well.
I like cookie dough, ice cream, and then mint chocolate chip and Rocky Road are probably my top three.
Very nice answers. You said what, mint chocolate chip?
Yes, and that's the whole thing with Matthew Alvarez. He does not like mint flavored things.
And, it's funny because I like mint tea drinks. I like like a mojito, like the mojito, like the mint. I went and tried. My old friend Hannah Burbank had me go try, because we had the same discussion. It was a mint drink at Starbucks. I can't remember what it was. She'll have to remind me. Probably a mint. No, it wasn't a medicine ball. I like the medicine ball. That's the thing. I like it in those kind of teas. And I didn't care for it too much, but it wasn't too bad. I can do it in drinks, but not eating it like in chocolate or with ice cream.
Don't like Andy's mints. I will go to town on those.
Andy's mints, no, certainly
Olive
not.
Garden,
Might as
they
well
hand you
go
the
and
handful of mints.
I could just go eat some toothpaste, which don't do that, by the way. You're not allowed to do that.
No, please don't ingest toothpaste.
It's definitely not. You're not supposed to do that at all. But anyways, that's my take on ice cream flavors, in case you're wondering.
Well, and we'll get to why we are talking about ice cream in just a moment. I would like to skip our iCam tour, if that's fine.
Sure.
And just go into this story, Matthew.
Sure, police work can be pretty dangerous, as you know, Sawyer. Just ask this Tennessee officer who experienced what his boss called rapid tactical descent, which means he fell pretty impressively. But it's actually the chief's way of giving Sergeant Bennett here a hard time for falling off a resident's front porch after a call. Body cam footage caught the whole thing, including the sergeant worrying that he actually broke his leg, he's fine, or caused the demise of a pink flamingo in the garden, which probably did happen based on this. This is his camera. As he tumbles down, I don't know, we caught his foot on something on the threshold?
Maybe.
Went down. The sergeant's pride was busted up, though. The Monterey Police Department provided a tongue-in-cheek summary of the whole thing, including some funny comments from Sergeant Bennett on its Facebook page. That is funny.
Yes.
Great video there,
funny.
too. Love the body cam for this reason.
Yes.
His legs just go flying. The other guy's, he freaked out. He's like, what's going on?
Yeah, he ran away. He thought something was happening.
Goodness. Let's go to a manatee now that made big news yesterday in Florida. They were recovering after a scary moment there. First responders in Melbourne Beach used a crane to get the marine mammal out of a storm drain on Monday. Officials said the adult manatee was active and didn't show signs of cold stress once it was rescued. Wildlife authorities worked in federal, state, and local partners to figure out the best way to get the manatee out and keep it alive. Hundreds of manatees come to Blue Springs State Park each year to get warm during cold weather, and this one couldn't make it through. Got stuck and really caused quite the scene for hours on end there.
Yeah, that is rough. Luckily, it was rescued and is okay, because manatees are a protected species over in Florida. You know, if you go to Florida,
I missed that. I'm sorry. What?
If you go to Florida, you know, and you're swimming or anywhere near, you know, a manatee habitat, there are signs that, you know, you can get fined for it.
Interesting.
Because, you know, they've been threatened before, and even I believe in certain like marinas you can't use, you know, propellers because manatees get so.
They could get caught up in it. Wow, interesting stuff. Glad to say the manatee is okay after lots of coordination between all of these agencies to make this rescue happen. I'm glad they did that. A New Bern, North Carolina couple, very young couple, is proving love really can be sweet. 19-year-old Reagan Baker and 18-year-old Isaiah McKinley exchanged vows last week at a Cow Cafe. Interesting. The couple says the ice cream shop has always held a special place in their hearts. It's where they met and had their first date just a year ago. They're a year into their relationship and getting married. And Spot McKinley visited often as a child with his grandmother. So when it came time to say I do, they knew exactly where to do it, and it was at the Cow Cafe, where an ice cream parlor may be an unexpected wedding venue. The couple says it was perfect for them, and it was the first time the cafe hosted a wedding. I love this. I would do it.
But this is where our ice cream question came from. You know, we were
Yes.
talking about this earlier in the show. I asked you what your favorite ice cream flavor was, and so that's where that came from. You know,
I want to know their favorite ice cream.
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe a toast over a scoop of Neapolitan. I love that. That's a great idea. Having a unique wedding venue. I know the restaurant, the Cow Cafe enjoyed hosting them as well.
Yes.
Look at this. Speaking of food, if you can only afford McDonald's for Valentine's Day, well, the Golden Arches has a way to soften the blow. It's not really that bad of a blow. By adding some caviar. Mickey D's is offering a kit that contains an ounce of caviar, a single ounce, meant to pair with chicken nuggets. It's free, completely free, by the way. It's the best part of it. You don't have to pay anything. But as you can imagine, if you go to the website, McNuggetCaviar.com, there are not many kits available.
Intriguing.
I've never even had caviar, but trying it for free would be interesting.
Trying it for free, I guess, would be like the only plus side of this.
It wouldn't lose, you wouldn't lose
Just give me
anything.
the chicken nuggets, barbecue sauce, honey mustard sauce.
I'm going to try and get
French
one.
fries.
Because if I get one, we're eating it on air. On the TV show and this show.
Okay. Yeah, no, I will pass.
You don't like the fish eggs?
No.
That's the thing, they're fish eggs, yeah.
We literally just talked about
A
raw
sushi.
seafood.
Raw seafood. Yes, not
Yes.
raw seafood. Raw
Yes.
seafood. That's right, Sawyer. Okay. Look at this. The United Nations has named this year's theme for International Day of Women and Girls in Science, or IDWGS. The theme
I don't understand why the
they even put,
abbreviation
why would they
is
even
in
put
here.
that?
No,
The
nobody
script.
calls it that.
It's the IDWGIS. You haven't heard of that?
Okay, that's better than whatever
Anyway,
you tried to
I don't even know what I said. The theme is synergizing AI, social science, STEM, and finance, building inclusive futures for women and girls, which the UN hopes can help close the gender gap in digital skills, inspire more women-led startups, progress AI that helps reduce gender biases, and gain more economic opportunities. Sawyer, you're a part of this, by the way, as well.
Yes, I do love International Day of Women and Girls in Science because I am a scientist.
You're very much those things.
Yes, meteorology is a science, and it is not a precise science, sadly. But
It's
we
one
are-
of those things. It's gaining momentum.
Yes, we are trying. You know, developments are
it's tough.
happening. Well, hopefully happening
Every day.
But yeah, you know, I've always been into science. You know, even when I was a kid, science was one of my favorite subjects in school. Math, nah. But even though I did have to take a lot of math, I do have a minor in
I bet you do,
mathematics.
yes, for that major,
yes.
100%. What was your specific major?
Meteorology.
Directly meteorology,
Yes.
no joke about that. Okay.
So,
The real deal.
yes, but love this day. I do know that, hold on, Women in Meteorology Day is coming up.
Specifically, more
soon,
Science
I
Women
think.
Days.
Hold
Okay.
on.
Because we had Weather Person's Day. You were not here for that.
No, I was not.
But we do appreciate you as a weather
Ironically,
person.
have never been at work on National Meteorologist Day.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason, never been here.
She calls it Wet Meteorologist Day instead of Weather Person Day, by the way.
Well, no, I don't call it Meteorologist Day, but that's fine. Let's see.
She's looking to see the exact day of women in meteorology, which there are a lot of, by the way, especially in broadcast. But people, Sawyer, I think of meteorologists as only on TV. That's an interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah, you know, a meteorologist does not have to be on television. They can also be in research, the private sector, which, you know, can be government or, you know, meteorologists work for insurance companies. TxDOT has meteorologists on their team. Let me see. I feel like I'm getting close to it. It is March 14th.
March 14th. Wait, Pi Day 3.14?
Yes.
Well, that's great.
Yes, it is.
That is fantastic. All right, Sawyer. Well, congratulations on you succeeding in your career, and happy National Day of Women in Science.
Love it.
Very nice. We've still got a lot more to come on Wake Up West Texas Extra.
Thank you for streaming with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Wake Up West Texas Extra. Here, it's now 8:48.
That caught me off guard.
Me too.
I thought there was going to be an open or a stinger. Nothing.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We normally do weather in that block there. That's why.
Well.
So it's your fault, actually. Oh boy, I was like, why are we just coming up with nothing?
No,
there's no fanfare.
I think
You're
I was
watching,
pointing at the cameras,
and I was just
watching. Well, that's okay. How many people are still hanging out with us?
If only we had warning.
Do you know?
I'm just kidding.
You know
I'm just
how many
kidding.
People are still hanging out with us. Whoever's still hanging out with us
I'm
on
sorry,
Facebook.
I haven't looked. Let me check. I had it open. I had to refresh it. It got frozen on my phone because I had it open for an hour and a half long.
Well, whoever's still hanging out with us, thank you for that, and hopefully you're enjoying our downfall.
Yeah, slow but sure. Yes, that's true. All right, let's get into some national headlines that we're following from across the country, where authorities have detained and later released a person of interest in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. 10 days after the 84-year-old mother of Today Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie was first reported missing. Immigration enforcement officials also were on Capitol Hill on Tuesday to defend the Trump administration's mass deportation efforts.
And it was a good day for the U.S. curling team as it racked up its first ever medal in mixed curling. CBS News' Jesse Mitchell has more in today's top stories.
Authorities have released a man detained earlier as a person of interest in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The person was reportedly detained at a traffic stop Tuesday in a city south of Tucson. This development comes 11 days after Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, was first reported missing, and hours after the FBI released images showing a masked individual standing outside Nancy Guthrie's home on the night she was abducted. The leaders of 3 major immigration agencies were on Capitol Hill Tuesday to defend the Trump administration's mass deportation campaign. In testimony provided to the House Homeland Security Committee, the officials touted the hundreds of thousands of deportations the administration has carried out and said recent protests in Minneapolis have placed their agents in danger. The actions of immigration agents have come under fire in recent weeks in the wake of the shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. And American curlers made history Tuesday at the Winter Olympics. The U.S. mixed curling team of Corey Teesey and Corey Dropkin became the first American mixed doubles curling team to reach the medal round since the event was introduced at the Olympics in 2018. The U.S. team won the silver medal, narrowly losing to Sweden in the gold medal round. Those are some of the day's top stories. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
Other headlines now. It wasn't a very Merry Christmas for retailers this year. Data from the Commerce Department shows retail sales in December didn't increase at all from November. Economists had expected them to jump 0.4%. It's a stark change from consumer spending. Last year, people kept buying despite fears around the stagnating job market and inflation. December's numbers suggest those fears may finally be impacting how much shoppers are willing to spend.
And Eddie Bauer announced yesterday that it has declared bankruptcy, the third time the 106-year-old outdoor apparel retailer has filed for Chapter 11 protection from its debts. With roughly 180 stores across the U.S. and Canada, said its retail locations will soon see closings. Its e-commerce and wholesale operations are not affected by the filing because they are operated separately.
In your health headlines now, catching the flu could raise your risk of heart disease. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
Mount Sinai researchers identified a link between the flu A virus and cardiovascular disease, which is very interesting, especially for American Heart Month. Great time to release the study. It's believed the flu can damage the heart, which can raise the risk of a heart attack or other major cardiovascular event. I want to say this has been studied with COVID as well and clotting.
That makes sense.
Researchers say this may explain why heart attacks rise during flu season.
Interesting. People with obesity face a 70% higher risk of life-threatening infections. A study published in The Lancet found that obese people are much more likely to be hospitalized or die from infectious disease, including the flu, COVID-19, pneumonia, and urinary tract infections. The study's authors say that by addressing obesity, more than 500,000 lives worldwide could be saved.
A new published study finds that how well a cancer treatment works may depend on the time of day it's given to patients. Isn't that fascinating?
Interesting.
Researchers gathered more than 200 people who had the same kind of lung cancer and put them on the same type of treatments. The only difference? That half got the medication earlier in the day, the other half got them later. The surprise finding was that the time of day made a difference there. Patients who got their first round of treatments before 3 p.m. had on average about 5 more months before their cancers grew and spread, which is sad. And they lived almost a year longer than those who got their treatments later in the day. That's so sad, but it's interesting how that could work. I wonder if it has to do with metabolism of the body at the certain times of the day.
Maybe earlier on in the day.
They also had better odds of being alive at the end of the 2-year study as well. Oh my goodness.
That is sad.
So sad.
A new study suggests that we can train our brains just like we train our muscles. Researchers with Johns Hopkins Medicine had adults 65 and older do around an hour of cognitive training multiple times over 5 to 6 weeks. The people who did the regular training had lower rates of dementia and Alzheimer's disease than the people who didn't. The benefits from the training even lasted as long as 20 years later. Jake Brandenburg has just walked into
I can
the
tell.
newsroom.
It just gets loud all of a sudden.
Very loud.
My goodness. Fascinating, though, that we can train our brains. And I've been told this my whole life.
This makes so much sense. You know, if you're doing puzzles, you know, crosswords, stuff like that, like keeps your brain going. It's healthy for your brain. It helps, you know, it helps your brain keep going, you know, not keep going, but, you know, it helps train your brain and it doesn't decline.
Well, it stimulates your mind.
Yes,
Crossword puzzles, things like that are very important, especially as we get older. And, you know, with us having a lack of sleep, it's important to also keep our minds sharp as well. I find myself with memory loss has become a problem the last 3 or 4 years. It's definitely become a problem.
He forgets things a lot.
It's the lack of sleep, I tell you.
I'm always reminding him or saying, yeah, you remember this? And he's like, no. And I'm like,
goodness.
Matthew.
If you're on mornings for about 10 years or so, you'll start feeling it for sure. Definitely watch it.
I'm at 3, give or take.
3 already? Goodness
well,
gracious.
Yeah, almost 3.
Wow. So you're still early on, but of course it does. You have to be really intentional, I think, with your sleep schedule.
Yes.
Fascinating stuff here. We're going to take a quick moment for a news and weather update on First Alert 7. Stay with us.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Good morning, everyone. Time now is 8:55 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Sawyer McElroy with a check of the forecast outside. Sawyer, happy Wednesday.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, Matthew. We are hanging on to a little bit cooler temperatures across the region this morning as we do start off our day. Here's a look at those First Alert weather headlines. A quick warm-up is on the way heading into tomorrow ahead of another system that does bring thunderstorm chances, cooler temperatures, and even the possibility for severe weather back to the forecast coming up Friday and into Saturday. Looking outside over the skies of Odessa this morning, we are hanging on to some clouds still. Temperatures are on the cooler side in the 30s, 40s, and a few 50s as well. 40 in Midland, currently 42 here in Odessa. Those winds anywhere from being calm to 15 miles per hour and wind chill values anywhere from the 30s to the 50s. 37 currently in Midland, 34 here in Odessa. Like I mentioned, hanging on to clouds, but otherwise quiet conditions, and temperatures through the day are going to remain on the cooler side, kind of right around where we should be for this time of year for the Midland Odessa area. 64 for Midland, 63 for Odessa, 62 for Pecos, 64 for Fort Stockton, 76 for Presidio. Coming up tonight, expect mostly cloudy skies, light winds, and those lows a little bit more mild than we are seeing this morning, into the 40s and 50s. 48 overnight for Midland and Odessa. Here's a look at that First Alert 7 10-day forecast, where we are going to see things warming up into Thursday, back into the upper 70s and even 80s for some, under partly cloudy skies. Then changes once again Friday and into the weekend as another system does pass through the area, bringing rain and thunderstorm chances to the forecast, and like I mentioned, the potential for severe weather as well.
Sawyer, thank you very much. We'll begin tracking crime this morning, where a sex offender was wanted by Kermit police and has been arrested in Brownwood in Central Texas. Aaron Boner was wanted for failure to comply with sex offender registration. He evaded arrest Friday and fled Kermit. A Crime Stoppers tip led authorities to find Boner in Brownwood, where he was arrested Saturday. A woman at the scene, Megan Blankenship, was also arrested and charged with obstruction. In Big Spring, the school district warning parents about a planned student walkout reportedly scheduled for tomorrow. According to a Facebook post, the district says messages are circulating among middle and high school students about this walkout, which is not supported by the school district. School officials want to remind families that leaving school grounds without permission violates the student code of conduct and could result in unexcused absences and disciplinary action. The district says while they respect staff and students' rights to express opinions, such expression cannot disrupt instructional opportunities as well as compromise student safety. Big Spring ISD says individuals without educational purposes will not be permitted on campus during the planned walkout. In Odessa, the City Council met last night, and one of the items of the agenda was to approve a resolution for the annual financial report for fiscal year 2023 to 2024. Representatives from Weaver, the financial services firm that conducted the audit, presented an overview, and the council approved it. Mayor Hendricks spoke about the importance of getting this done.
I'm proud to say that with the filing of this particular audit, it was 2023-2024 year, Odessa, City of Odessa is now 100% caught up with all its audits. That means we've already got our bond counsel and investors working, trying to get our credit rating back from Moody's and Standard & Poor's. So hopefully it should be very short.
The full 136-page report is available on the city's website. Mayor Hendrick also said he hopes the council will be able to get the credit rating back for the city of Odessa. For the latest news, log on anytime to our website, that is firstalert7.com. And also, be sure to download the First Alert 7 mobile news and weather apps. Also, catch First Alert 7 News at noon with Jacob Brandenburg and meteorologist Sawyer McRoy a little bit later on. Until then, make it a great Wednesday. Well, we've had a great time here on Wake Up West Texas Extra, especially regarding the El Paso incident. Again, the FAA has announced that the flight restriction around El Paso's airport has now been lifted. Still working to learn more about it itself, of course.
Thank you for streaming with us. Make it a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.